Welcome to another edition of the Craig Carton Show. Great to be back. Great to have you here. My main man, Tyrone Johnson, causing trouble over there in the corner as always. Good to see you here, Tyrone.
Hello.
Are you everything okay in your world?
Yeah, everything's fine.
Can I see your tongue? Is your tongue still here?
Yeah, I still have it.
Nobody cut your tongue out?
Nobody cut my tongue out.
I just want to make sure that you're safe and well.
Yeah, I appreciate
I want to make sure that no one's cutting your tongue out, though.
No.
Well, you took that seriously, didn't you? Jeez Louise, man.
Let me tell you something.
You took that like you were Amelia Bedelia.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you. The only reason I know about it was because of you. I'm sitting on it for days.
I said it to him.
You sent it to me.
I sent it to him on Sunday.
On Friday. Friday.
Oh, look at you. Look at you creating problems for the Craig Carton Show.
I don't mean
I got to put out fires left and right when I'm not here for a day.
Listen.
No, I was proud of you. I mean, funny.
I don't know what to do. You don't put me in a jam. You put me in a spot.
All right, let's get into it. Lots of great stuff yesterday from a sports perspective. Wemby, of course, has one of the great playoff performances thus far this postseason. Had a 41-24, but it's the 35-foot three-point shot that was completely asinine to take and completely stupid to take, which was like one of those old school, no, yeah! Type of shots, down by 3. This is a great game. An absolute great game. You learn nothing about this game other than this is going to be a great series. But it was a great game, double overtime. There were little mini runs. Thunder up 4, I think it's over. Spurs come back. Thunder up 3, I think it's over. Spurs come back. But, of course, the story today is legacy.
Yes.
Wemby had a game for the ages. And, look, if you've watched Wemby play, it shouldn't shock you. This kid can do that. But when he took the Steph Curry 3, I'm watching on an airplane last night, flying home from my son's college graduation, and I'm watching with my son on his phone, and I'm saying to myself, no, yeah! It was like that kind of shot. Like, the shot itself was asinine to take. But when you make it, it's the greatest shot of all time, right?
Yeah. When you're that special, though, he was feeling it, and it was clean. And he probably thought,
wide open,
closer, I'm not going to get this clean a look. And they had time. He makes it. This Spurs team is a possible problem last night. 2 guards, a second-year guard and a rookie guard in your backcourt.
Harper was brilliant last night.
I mean, 20 points.
Especially as a starter. He's not a starter for them. De'Aaron Fox obviously didn't play last night. I don't think Dylan Harper started 5 games for them this year.
He's their 6th man.
Yeah, and he's great. Look, he was rookie. He had a disappointing college career, the 1 year at Rutgers, well documented. Dude's a baller, and last night had the game of his life, obviously, starting for De'Aaron Fox. Look, we said from jump, Spurs, Thunder, Thunder, Spurs. Yeah. Now, the Thunder were the better team all year long. They deserve their flowers for what they did in the regular season, going wire to wire. All right, and obviously you get SGA, the two-time now back-to-back MVP. But it's the only team in the West that we said from Jump Street, because of their age, because of their athleticism, and because they know how to play defense, and you've got an all-world player now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but it's performances like that that make aficionados like me say that if you fast forward the clock 5 years, 10 years, Wemby, if health prevails, has an opportunity to be thought of as one of the great basketball players to ever put on a pair of sneakers. That's facts.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. And the other part is it adds urgency to this year's playoffs. OKC, you better be able to beat them now, because you may not be able to beat them in the future. And to your Knicks, which we'll talk about later too,
Yeah.
if they get there this year, it's not a given you're going to have any easier road going forward. That team, the Spurs, in my opinion, are still on the way up. And look where they are
yeah,
already.
because they're young.
Yeah.
I mean, they're a young team. Very few veterans sprinkled throughout that team. It's youngest starting 5 in all basketball right now. And their best players, what, 23?
22.
Right. So, I mean, so you're talking about a juggernaut for a long time. Now, look, they've had 0 playoff success. 0 up until right now. That is a huge win, especially when you consider the fact, A, it's on the road. B, the Thunder haven't lost in the playoffs this year. It's 4-0, 4-0. There go Moses Malone. Foe. well, now 4-4-5 is going to have to be the answer. I think that series is going 6 or 7, and it's great for me because the Knicks are going to go right through Cleveland, like poop through a goose. So it's going to be even more rest for my New York Knicks when they wait for the winner of the Thunder Spurs series.
See, I think you're jumping past your Knicks a little too soon. And perhaps you were nice to Wemby. You underestimated the legacy game from last night a little bit. Okay, you're talking about a 22-year-old. Now, all right, if this is
he was great last night.
No, you're talking about a 22-year-old.
Yes.
Okay, a 22-year-old doing that. We don't see that.
It's a stupid shot. Can we acknowledge that?
No, I can't acknowledge it.
It's a dumb shot to take.
It was a clean look that he made.
He took a 35-foot shot with the game on the line when the shot clock wasn't running down.
Yeah.
It wasn't like 5, 4, 3.
Yeah.
Just get any look you can. He took a wild, out of control, immature, stupid shot.
No, he didn't.
And he made it.
No, I can't do this with you.
He did.
Okay, great players do special
by the way,
things.
He misses that shot. Thunder win. That's his legacy moment.
No, it's not. Because this is why Wemby has the best of both worlds right now. Because he's 22 years old.
Dumb shot.
This legacy thing,
yes,
right, is for you is going to change every second. This dude is different. And I
agree with you.
No, but you don't. What you're doing is you're trying to find, and I understand it, it's a defense mechanism from a Knicks fan. The Knicks are in a spot now where you're feeling really good about yourself and getting to the finals.
This ain't a Knicks
and I get it. It is a Knicks thing.
I'm not worried about the Spurs. I own the Spurs this year.
Who
won the Emirates Cup?
No.
Me.
Emirates
Who
Cup?
Who did we beat? Them. I'm not worried about the San Antonio Spurs one.
Okay,
right.
You got to stop.
Yeah.
You got to stop. The whole world should be afraid of Wemby right now. I'm afraid of Wemby right now, and my team's home. Everyone should be afraid of that guy. This is different, Craig, and you know it deep down. So keep on trying to poke little holes.
Well, it's different because of his size, because he's got an outside shot. He's already a great defensive player.
The best defender.
And in theory, he should get more physical and bigger and thicker and stronger as he gets older. Obviously, that's going to come, with maturity and with his body, getting up to speed. Obviously, he's very thin, but he's not a bitch. He plays defense.
I talked about who
he leads the league in blocks, obviously, and has for a couple of years now. But the reality is this, and I want to make sure I'm very clear about this. I want to congratulate Wemby and the Spurs. Yes, that was a legacy game last night. Legacy!
Yeah.
But in reality, that's maybe the dumbest shot that he has ever taken as a pro. And if he thinks he's just going to walk up from 35 feet and be Steph Curry again, he's not. So go play your game in the paint, on defense, and do what you do. But the dumbest shot he's ever taken gave them a chance to win that game, tied the game, obviously, and they win in double overtime. And if you didn't get to watch that game, you missed out. NBA basketball is fantastic.
Yeah, they should
That's
bring
what
those
it was.
back. Yo, it was.
Because last night's game was money. Now, you're not going to get as competitive a game tonight. Knicks win by double digits tonight.
Let's go slow.
This will be a walkthrough for the Knicks.
Go slow.
Almost like a gym run. Like a midweek gym run.
You got to stop.
That's what's happening tonight at Madison Square Garden. But last night, more than the Knicks coming up. Last night, your guy took a major step towards again being the face of the NBA last night.
Yeah, he absolutely
So congratulations.
Did. He absolutely did. And I think that the Castle and Harper thing.
Castle's a star.
Now listen, he had 11 turnovers, but late in the game, he gets the big block on one end, comes down, and he gets the assist to Wemby that put the game away. Listen, you can't keep having 11 turnovers, obviously.
No, 11, that's crazy.
But the fact that a guy in his second year, it didn't phase him one bit. It still stayed engaged on the defensive end.
Ball, you're right.
And then he still kept on hooping like that.
Now let me
that
ask you a
says
question.
something about his mind.
If the Thunder had won in the first overtime, the play of the game would have been the Chet Holmgren block on Wemby at the end of regulation.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Would that have been a legacy moment?
For Chet. But you know what Chet now looks like? I feel bad for Chet because he's tall and he makes threes. He looks like a poor man's Wemby.
I can't argue it. Spurs take game one. Knicks Cavs game one tonight. Lots cooking on a Monday. Hey there, it's your buddy Craig Carton. If you're trying to find out how to get all the great content that me and Tyrone Johnson give you every single day? Here's Tyrone to tell you how.
You can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, and of course, Amazon Music as well. We're at all 4.
That's right. It's the Craig Carton Show podcast every weekday morning live at 11, replayed at noon on YouTube and on SportsGrid throughout the country. Check it out.
They're trading right now currently at 74 wins on the season, which means the Kalshi marketplace goes by 5-win intervals. 75-plus wins for those Houston Astros. That's a 49% contract to the yes, which a $100 investment pays back $205, Greg. I'm not high on this team. Look, again, 75 wins for the Astros is terrible, but this team might not even look the same as where we stand today by the time we get to that deadline.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
You can recruit super young talent that may go in the NBA. You can recruit older guys and have them grow up together. But if you want players to stay, either sign them to contracts or treat them well enough where they're going to stay. To me, it's pretty simple. And, you know, a lot of coaches last year had good years and they left skid marks on their schools and nobody said a word.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
Go over the summer where there's drastic changes and gas drops down to $3 a gallon, $2.50 a gallon in some states, and then you have some of the price markets go down. You ride that momentum is what Joe's talking about. So if you say right now, which party will win the U.S. House, and you think it's the Republicans currently trading at 20%, you take them now, and if good press comes, that turns into 25% and 30%, then you have the option to cash out.
Prediction Markets Edge, only on SportsGrid.
Welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. Tyrone Johnson here as well. We'll get to Knicks Cavs coming up in a bit, but there's something going on right now in sports, and I don't quite understand it, Tyrone. I'm not sure if you do either. It's not like even a debate. It just doesn't make sense to me, and that's all this hate out there right now for Jaylen Brown. Now, look, I'm a Knicks fan. I can't stand the Celtics. But I love Jaylen Brown.
I don't.
Jaylen Brown's a ball player. I know you don't like him. You think he pushes off too much.
No, that's not why.
Because you play that soft suburban basketball.
That's not why.
You didn't go up on the streets on concrete like some of us did.
What are you talking? Go ahead, New Rochelle. Go ahead, New Rochelle. Go nuts.
But I'm like, Jaylen Brown led the Celtics this year without Tatum.
He did.
They got the 2 seed.
They did.
He averaged about 29 points a game. Had a great season, obviously, right? And I know some of it's him versus a broadcaster. I don't like to talk about other people's squabbles.
Yeah.
Not interesting to me. But then I saw some other cats come out and start quoting anonymous players with the Boston Celtics, either current Boston Celtics or former Boston Celtics that play with Jaylen Brown, who, again, I think this is a cowardly move to go to your phone and say, and this is Kendrick Perkins, I'll name him by name, because he's a coward to do this, and he's gone against the fraternity of athletes.
Yeah.
When you go on TV and you go, oh, look, I've got text messages from anonymous players all saying that, yo, we don't run with Jaylen Brown, we don't hang with Jaylen Brown, or F Jaylen Brown, or whatever the anonymous text messages are. Man, what happened to you being a man? What happened to your agreement when you agreed to play in the NBA, to the sanctity of the locker room? What happened to that fraternity of players that looks out for one another? There's obviously people we've all worked with that we don't like.
Yeah.
But there's a sanctity of the locker room, right?
Always, yeah.
I think there should be at least.
And there is.
Like there's no line in sports, and I'm stealing from someone else. I'm not sure who coined it. I didn't. But the line goes, what's seen here and heard here stays here. That's the locker room ethos, all right? And now you got dudes going on TV. I'm not talking about Stephen A. Stephen A. Smith didn't play. Stephen A. Smith, while a reporter who's been in locker rooms, was never a player in a locker room. So I keep him separate. But when you got guys like Kendrick Perkins, who did play, now going on national TV, throwing a dude, I assume that he knows, under the bus for clicks, and throwing a dude under the bus because it ingratiates him to other players, I suppose. I just don't get that. Like, Jaylen Brown would be a starting guard on every team in the NBA.
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown could play for my Knicks today.
Yeah.
And I would sign off on that.
Yeah.
Because the dude's a baller. A. B. He's also, from my understanding, a good guy. He don't get in any trouble. Very bright guy. He was like a nuclear scientist or something.
It was actually the knock on him. In draft reports, they said he's too smart. There were people who held it against him.
He's not a dumb jock.
Yeah.
And look, I know what he said on a Twitch stream or something right after the Celtics blew that 3-1 lead to the Sixers and got knocked out, that this was one of his most favorite seasons of all time.
And that's bad.
And
that's
I get
very
that.
bad.
I get criticism of that. I do.
Yeah, that's very bad.
But, man, you got ball players throwing ball players under the bus. Like, I don't get that. He didn't sleep with nobody's sister.
No.
He didn't have sex with the owner's wife.
Nope.
The dude shows up for work every day.
He does.
He carried a Celtics team, in my opinion, to the number 2 seed this year, which nobody saw coming, including the Celtics.
Correct. Yeah,
Okay?
they
Which is why they made the moves they made.
Yeah, they tore the roster down.
And I'm watching this thing unfold in live time. I'm saying to myself, like, you could, again, I've never met the man. I can't, but I know what I've read about him. You couldn't find a better guy or a better ball player to represent your franchise. And now we got cats going on TV going, oh, look, everyone. Oh, I can't show you the name. Anonymous teammates, agreeing with me that Jaylen Brown's a problem. If Jaylen Brown is a problem, then I'll take problems on my team all day long.
Right.
And what's crazy about this, Tyrone? I hate the Celtics. I'm a Knicks fan.
But hold on. I think you're glossing over, though, just how wrong he was. Now, you were out yesterday for your son's college graduation. If I was buzzing around with the guys downstairs talking about how great it is that you're not around, and then I go, you know what, yesterday when you're not in was the greatest show I've ever done. It felt so great to be doing a show. That's a bad teammate at the end of the day. And to do that to Jason Tatum, I recognize maybe the
Can I stop you there for a second?
No, that's what he did.
If you had said that was the best Carton show ever, yes. If you had said, hey, I got to tell you, I think my performance was great today, maybe the best job I've ever done, I got no problem with that.
No. That's not what he said. He didn't say
He said it was my favorite season.
My favorite, when my running mate was out and we blew a 3-1 lead to the Sixers when we were heavy favorites.
I'm with you.
That was my favorite year.
I think the criticism to a point was fair.
It speaks to his, I don't want to talk about his
character. That's more about his numbers than the team?
Yeah, I'm not talking about his character in life. Like, I don't believe he's now going to be a criminal or do any of the things you said.
I think he's a good guy.
I think it speaks to him as
he had that event in California that the police shut down.
And it turns out the police were 100%
totally wrong.
He had the permits. He had all that stuff. They lied. Like, that's all true. But at the end of the day, if you're bad to the number one guy, you're the number one guy on the Craig Carton show. If I'm going around kind of backstabbing you, even in a subtle
I'm going to have a problem with, yes.
Not only you, but so will everyone else, because now they know they can't really trust me.
Correct. I agree with you on that.
And I believe that the Celtics people, while I agree with you about Kendrick Perkins, the Celtics people going, I don't know if I can trust this cat. I think they're right. Because what he said was out of bounds.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, to me, when I look at the problems the Celtics have had the last couple of years, and by the way, let me just also acknowledge this. Jaylen Brown is an NBA champion. He's been in 2 NBA finals, and he's an NBA finals MVP. He's in a very small fraternity of men that have accomplished that. He has also made $400+ million before he's turned 30. All right, so the dude, by every measuring stick, is a success. He's a success on the court. He's a success off the court. He's a community guy. And he's a very smart dude as well, right? Like, is that the guy that we're not going after?
Yeah.
Because I could give you a list of dudes worse than him that you and I could go after all day, every day, right?
Yes, but
both on the court and off the court.
Right. Absolutely. But you've mentioned guys who maybe have done far worse things
for sure
than Jaylen Brown, but they're very loyal. They're very loyal people. And at the end of the day,
loyalty is key to me too. I'm with you on that.
And I think that what it appears is people are saying he's not a loyal guy.
So let me ask you this. And again, we're kind of mincing words here, both of us, to be fair about it. But when a guy goes, that's my favorite season of all time, do you think by definition that makes him disloyal?
It does.
See, because I don't see it that way.
Because it's about wins.
In any event, Jaylen, if you're done in Boston after the Knicks win a championship, we'll add you. We got room for more pieces. It's all good. to the Craig Carton Show. My main man, Tyrone Johnson, here as always. By the way, see everybody all upset with Shams? I don't know if you guys talked about it or not yet, so if you did, I apologize. Like, Shams did his job.
No, you got it.
So I think Amazon was upset, and then NBA fans were upset, and then certain announcers were upset, and players got upset. Like, so Shams, I guess, tweeted out that SGA won the MVP award.
Yeah.
Second consecutive award. Congratulations to SGA. All good there, right?
Yeah, Prime was supposed to.
They were going to announce it.
They were supposed to
But
announce
isn't that what those guys do during the NBA draft and the NFL draft?
Well, they've been told not to, though.
But that's what they've done for years.
But they stopped.
right?
They stopped. Now they have to.
They have to wait for it to actually be announced on TV.
Or they have to tip the picks in a different way.
Did Joey's put the picks out there?
Yeah, and Woe's got in trouble for it.
Did Shams used to put the picks out there?
Yes, they used to be racing.
So let me just get this right. We pay a guy millions of dollars a year to be an insider.
Yes.
To give us information that without him, we either A, would not get, or B, would get later. That's his job, right?
Yeah.
And he's really good at his job.
He's great.
Very well-connected cat, right?
Yeah.
So he knows that SGA wins it. So he does his job. And now we're pissed at the guy for doing his job?
Yeah.
I know what Amazon's thinking. Amazon's saying, wait a minute. We wrote $1 billion check to the NBA, and part of that money, I'm making the number up, that we wrote the check for was the exclusive announcement of postseason awards, right?
Yeah.
And now a guy that works for you guys, right, is now trumping our exclusive announcement on Twitter.
That's right.
And you're surprised by that?
Well, I don't have to like it.
You're upset by that?
Well, this is 2 years in a row he's done it now.
I wasn't upset by, were you?
Yeah, I was bothered by it a little bit for this reason. ESPN's going to get their turn. Let's say ESPN has the game tonight, correct? It has the game tonight.
Yeah, the entire series
has
on
the
ESPN.
series, right? ESPN, right? And we have 8:10 starts versus 8:40.
Which, just real quick, thank God ESPN has the Knick Cavs series, so we don't have to listen to Reggie Miller ruin yet another broadcast and remind us that he had one good game at Madison Square Garden in his entire career, and the fact that he forgets the fact that throughout his career he had a losing record against the Knicks at Madison Square Garden. Thank God. And I'm not an ESPN guy, but thank God that Mike Breen, who's he doing with Richard Jefferson?
Richard Jefferson.
Who's another clown, by the way.
It's Richard
and Legs, right?
And Legler.
Tim Legler?
Yeah.
Who's fine.
My guy, like Philly
not
guy.
the greatest broadcast of all time.
Philly guy. Philly's everywhere.
By the way, I'm not a fan of that booth. I love Mike Breen, obviously.
Yeah.
I wish they would just have Jefferson and Legler do like a companion broadcast and have Walt Clyde Frazier do the game.
Well,
he actually does the games objectively.
No, he does. He's going to call the Knicks games right down the middle.
Yeah, that's what he does.
Yeah, right down the middle.
Splendicious and flicious. What's flicious mean? Well, I don't know. I just made it up. In any event, thank you.
They have someone else doing the companion broadcast.
Is there a companion broadcast?
Yeah, Amon Shumpert's doing it.
Shump is doing it?
Shump's doing it with the radio, one of the radio sideline people.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah, Shump's doing the
Shump might need the money. His wife took everything he had.
Took it all.
Like houses, cars, cash, the whole kit and the caboodle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's back though. Yeah. And I think Shumper does a good job.
Yeah, I saw everyone going, crazy the last couple of days. Oh, I can't believe Shams did that. I'm like, that's his, when you write down what the dude's job is.
Yeah.
That's his job.
Well, here's a question though. If
don't me downstairs.
No, because I know
that's what he gets paid to do.
May be correct. When ESPN has the MVP, if the MVP was Jalen Brunson, if the MVP was Donovan Mitchell, and they were going to announce it on ESPN, would he then tip it since he works for ESPN?
Well, that's a great question. I'm not sure what the rules of engagement for ESPN are with their insiders.
And that's what I'm interested in.
But I know I've watched a million drafts, and I've seen draft after draft, NFL and NBA. So multiple networks. I've seen them, you report 5 minutes before the pick gets announced who the pick is.
Yeah.
So, again, it's like, I'm going to be repetitive here. I don't want to be. But you pay somebody to do exactly what he did. Like, if Amazon, if you want to control what Shams does, hire him. Hire him.
Yeah.
Right? Make him your insider and tell him you can't release information if we have an exclusive window to do it. Just to go ahead and do it, but you don't. ESPN employs them.
Well, Shams has said.
Right?
Yeah, Shams' response has been, I do my job and I do it at a high level.
Period. Stop.
That's what he said.
I agree with Shams. Now, I think Shams can have a sense of humor and smile every now and then.
He doesn't do that.
When someone goes, you just look like you just came back from a brunch. I'm not sure why that was funny, but he was like, let's just get to business, woman. I'm like, all right, but yeah, everyone's so sensitive and soft these days. Wah! Shams did his job. Wah! Shams has inside information, so he announced it. Wah! It's like,
what?
Man. Plus, we all knew SGA was going to be MVP. It wasn't a surprise. To the Craig Carton Show. You know, there are times in life when you do shows like this where you show your age. No matter how young at heart you think you might be, there are moments when you either sound like the old man on the lawn yelling, you know, like, cut the cord, I did cut the cord. Now I got to spend $150 on Hulu and Amazon. That's one of those moments where you're going to show your age. I'm going to be guilty of one of those moments right now.
Okay.
And I'm going to own that now. And I think you're more aligned with me on this, Tyrone.
All right.
Although we have a good decade age gap between us. I do think you and I are more aligned on this one. I know Ethan downstairs is with me. The other guys downstairs, they're probably against me on this one. But a former institution of ours has now, for the third time, officially jumped the shark and is dead in the water. Because... did you happen to see what happened to Sports Illustrated over the weekend? And yeah, Sports Illustrated does still exist. It's a website now.
Yes.
I think it's just SI.com.
SI.com.
All right.
And,
they only print one magazine a year, and that's the magazine with girls in bathing suits, okay? The SI Swimsuit Edition.
Yes.
Which jumped the shark about 5 or 6 years ago when they started putting fat girls on the cover and ugly girls on the cover because they need love too. And now they've come back to just hot, skinny models wearing very little with big breasticles and the whole thing. They've come back to the...
They still mix in the big girls.
But not like they used to. They had a whole bunch of big gals.
I believe it's now...
and ugly girls on the cover.
Well, I didn't see the ugly girls. I never saw the ugly ones.
There were a lot of them.
The bigger girls were still pretty.
I never said they weren't, by the way.
Yeah.
I know a lot of very pretty big girls.
Yeah.
There's not an attack on biggins. Not even a little bit.
Because we need them on the show.
It's just that the SI Swimsuit Edition used to be all like, anorexic girls.
I got some issues with some of the people that made it, like some of these reality stars. Like, why is Bethany Frankel on the?
I'm with you on that.
Why is Bethany in it?
Which is why even the swimsuit edition doesn't carry any weight anymore.
Yeah.
I agree, by the way. It went fat. It went ugly. It went old. Now they're trying to get back to hot 22-year-old type of things. But look, there's enough porn on my phone where I no longer need to wait, till Valentine's Day for the SI swimsuit edition to come out.
Okay.
But that's not why SI's dead for the third time.
All right, well, why?
They're dead again because they wrote an article on SI.com, all right? And the article was apparently done completely by AI and was a complete ripoff of an article that an actual human being wrote. Some guy in Chicago named Dan Bernstein wrote an article.
Yeah.
And then SI copied the article but had AI rewrite it.
Now, come on.
And they got caught.
Good.
So
good.
They even invented the name of the author.
So even though no one wrote it, they gave a byline.
The author was AI.
Right, they gave him a byline.
Like every now and then, you see an I don't know, AI videos of people or created hot spokesmodel.
Yeah.
But it's totally AI. It's not a real person.
Right.
So Sports Illustrated stole this guy's article, had AI rewrite it. When the guy saw it, it's unmistakable to the guy. Mm-hmm. You and I never would have known.
Right.
It was like John Jablonski
Look, all right,
writing an article on blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But the dude who wrote it's like, wait a minute. I wrote that article. Even the headlines of each paragraph were stolen from him, and they used AI just to rewrite, the gist of his article. All right?
That's terrible.
Then they invented the name of the author that they claimed wrote the article. All right? Mm-hmm. So they have since deleted the entire profile that they created for the author. So basically, they invent an author. They invent a resume for that author. Mm-hmm. They steal someone's actual work. They then post it as an SI exclusive. Well, they get caught across the board. No author, stolen article, and not theirs. Yeah.
I mean, that's gross.
Gross.
That's gross.
And I'm trying to think, and I know there's very good people that still work at SI.com. I know the company that owns them, they're called ABG. They have the rights to a lot of former brands that fell in hard times and athletes. Like when I did my Muhammad Ali rights deal, I did it with that company.
Okay.
So they have Marilyn Monroe, they have Bobby Jones, they have Shaq. They have Muhammad Ali's estate. They have a whole bunch of estates. And they also buy distressed brands that you and I grew up with, right?
Okay.
Multi-billion-dollar company, very successful, okay? Canadian guy and his kids run the company, right? Right here in New York City. That being said, the American brand of SI is dead, is it not?
Yeah, well, and they're helping just further trash it because you still have Chris Mannix that people know, Tom Verducci that people know. You have Albert Breer. There are some writers, national writers that they have that have some cachet. But if you're going to then just go AI that way and do it incorrectly and not be transparent about it, you're now taking a brand that's suffering and shooting it again in the back of the head.
Yeah, look, the brand's been dead for a decade. The only thing that was good for was the swimsuit edition. And they bastardized that. I know they're desperately trying to bring it back. Oh, look, Livy Dunn's in a bathing suit. Oh, look, Alex Earl's in a one-piece. Great, but I can see that on my computer whenever I want. So the swimsuit edition died a bad death when they had Lotto on that Lizzo on the cover.
Well, Hillary Duff's on one of the 4 covers this year.
Hillary Duff shouldn't be in there either.
Well, I'm looking at the pictures. I brought it up because of you. She does belong in it.
She's good, Hillary Duff?
She looks great.
How old is Hillary Duff?
She's in her 30s.
Too old for that side.
Alex Earl's on the cover. Tiffany Haddish is on the cover. And
Tiffany Haddish?
Don't love that cover.
Tiffany Haddish is funny. She's not hot.
You put me in a jam. I'm looking at the people. I don't know how Bethany made it.
Bethany Frankel shouldn't be there either. Now, if you want to do an old SI, Bethany Frankel's an attractive 60-year-old.
The girl who is getting sued about the coke can, that Haley Bailey girl, she's in it. She looks great. You did the cover where she said her ex-husband had the coke can.
Oh, yeah. She's in it? Yeah.
Not bad.
Okay, I'm good with that one.
Not bad.
I'm good with that one.
Not bad.
Okay.
I'm just saying. I'm
Is
looking at it.
Lizzo on the cover again?
Lizzo's not in this one.
There you go.
Lizzo's not in. They only pick one plus size model, and she's a model by trade. They didn't just take a larger woman. They found a model.
They found a pretty face, just on a big waist kind of gal thing.
Yeah, the pictures
By
were
the way,
great.
I know a lot of heavyset women who are beautiful.
Her name is Erin Marley Clay.
Well, I don't know who she is, but good for her. Body empowerment, right? In any event, SI's dead. That's the purpose of this segment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
we killed off SI.
And here's my issue, too. With
Dead. I couldn't be deader. Plagiarism, invented authors, AI stories, ugly models. It's dead. It's never coming back. SI will never be relevant ever again. I do feel bad for the guys you mentioned. The Albert Breers, the
Mannix,
Jimmy Trainers, the whatever their names are of the world that work there. I hope the paycheck's
Tom Verducci
good.
does a good job.
He's the baseball guy, right?
Yeah, Tom Verducci does a really good job.
When's the last time he wrote something I read? It's been a long time.
You read something about him a couple of months ago when he was talking about the Conor Griffin, the Pittsburgh Pirates kid. You read something he wrote.
When the Pirates gave the shortstop, the 18-year-old a lot of money?
But
Tom Verducci's a good writer.
That's what I'm saying. Verducci's still there. And he's a really good writer.
Verducci's good. Breer's good. Trainer's good. They just need to find another place to do it.
Yeah.
Because they're all good at what they do. But as a journalist, how do you wake up in the morning and work for a company that agrees to plagiarize and steal?
You can't. I mean, it's got to be tough.
As a journalist, how do you live with yourself? At least do this. At least go back to hot 20-year-old anorexic girls in bathing suits with big boobs.
Well, see, if they're
At
anorexic,
least get that right.
But you can't have the anorexic and big boobs doesn't go together.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Quite nicely.
Unless
if I may.
buy them.
Unless
they buy them.
In a bathing suit, I don't know if you bought them or not.
You do.
You and I have very different tastes in women. Very different tastes in women.
That's
when
right.
it comes to SI. Very different tastes.
That's right.
You like thick flute players, and I like girls who haven't eaten. So
I'm saying, you're right. I like a girl that's had a little bit to eat. Yeah. During the break, who I think Ethan and you should look up is a girl named Penny Lane from the article.
All right, I'll check her out.
Tell me what you think and the people out there about Penny Lane.
Yeah.
Because my gut says Ethan thumbs up, you thumbs down.
Penny Lane from Almost Famous?
But everybody on earth, other than Craig, thumbs up.
All right, after the break, we're going to give a thumbs up or thumbs down to Penny Lane.
Penny Lane.
That's coming up right after this. All right. back to the Craig Card Show. I've done my job here, Tyrone. I've looked. You asked me to take a look at new SI model, Penny Lane's photos.
Yes.
And you thought that I would say not for me?
Yes, but I believe that the majority of society and Ethan, the producer, would say thumbs up to her. That was my prediction.
Ethan just said in my ear, sign me up.
That's right.
To Penny Lane's photographs on SI.
Yeah.
There's only one photograph of hers that I find worthy and acceptable.
Okay.
Outside of that, you can have your Penny Lane. But there is one photograph. There's one photograph where I say, yes, 100% yes, all day long.
You do agree, though, that if she was out in New York City on this hot day.
She's just another girl walking the streets in New York City.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Not with all that.
And that's a great way to decide it.
Not with all that front
If
meat.
Penny Lane is walking down Fifth Avenue, nobody notices her.
You're out of your mind. On a hot day, now maybe in the winter, but not with all that front meat.
I'm just telling you what I think. She's not ugly.
All that front meat.
She's nice breasts.
There's
yes.
6-foot women with that front meat.
Is she 6 feet tall?
Yes, she's 5'10",
that's definitely a
5'11".
no-no. That's way too tall for women. I need a 6 foot tall
I don't
woman.
know if she's
That's
little.
like an
She's a
Amazon.
tall girl.
All right, well, good for her. She's very attractive. There's one
Yes,
photograph
she's 5'11".
of her
5'11".
walking the catwalk for SI, which is it's like a polka dot bikini. That's obviously a home run. Yes, yes, all day. Yes, all night. Yes, yes.
But you
yes,
say
yes,
that's
yes.
not the real her.
But I don't think she wakes up like that.
All right. I just don't think there's that many 5'11" models walking around with that.
By the way, you're right. But New York City's special, man. It ain't Philadelphia. It ain't Philadelphia. Sorry. You know it's not.
All right.
You walk down the streets of Philadelphia, it's
No, it's not.
And it's all these like zombies on fentanyl now.
There's a lot of
these
zombies.
days.
I can't deny that.
Yeah.
But
people without teeth. And there's a weird thing about Philadelphia women. There's this one tooth on the side over
no,
here.
it's not. You're
that y'all are
making
missing.
that up. You're not.
I never understood why you're missing that teeth.
Up. You're missing.
No, I'm serious.
It's not real.
Philadelphia women, I don't know if it's the meth or the heroin, but right here on the side.
They're not on
there's
heroin.
that one tooth
the
that
average.
Philadelphia gals are missing. It must be genetics.
You know what? You know what? New York is special in its own way because of the volume.
Because there's so many beautiful women.
The volume of people. Okay?
Walking down the street right now.
But you know why I'm excited that you said that? Because tonight, close to about 11 o'clock p.m.,
yes,
all of y'all going to be upset when Cleveland wins game one later.
You don't
on.
believe that.
I believe it in my bone marrow.
You hate James Harden with a passion.
Yeah, but I love Donovan Mitchell.
You said that Donovan Mitchell was soft.
No, I did.
2 weeks ago.
I said I love Donovan Mitchell, and I love Coco Jones, his fiance.
Well,
lovely,
we all like Coco
lovely
Jones.
Girl.
She's going to be the next big Def Jam star, by the way. That being said, look, Knicks are favored by 7.5 tonight.
6.5.
Okay. Wherever you get your numbers, it's fine. Don't matter to me. Prohibitive favorites tonight.
Yep, but so were the Thunder last night.
Obviously, the Cavs coming off a 7-game series, blah, 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 blah. Only one day off, same crap that you wussies in Philadelphia came up with. It's not fair to have to play 7 games and only have to get one day off before playing a tough series against a well-rested team. Well, my idea to you would be then win quicker. Not my fault the Knicks are the most dominant playoff team thus far this year in the Eastern Conference.
Okay.
Now, look, I respect Donovan Mitchell.
You bet.
He's a great ball player. But James Harden is not in the playoffs.
You're correct.
Well documented.
You're correct.
He's got more games he's got more playoff games in which he had more turnovers and points than any player in the history of basketball. I think it's 44 now. Playoff games with more turnovers than points.
People have said that your math is very wrong there. People are very mad about that.
No, that's a fact. That's a stat.
People are very upset because they're doing how many playoff games. You repeating is only going to anger people more.
Well, fine. I'll piss more people off. That's fine.
Okay.
I've done my due diligence on this series.
Okay.
And I've done it objectively. And I love Kenny Atkinson. Matter of fact, I wanted Kenny Atkinson for the Knicks.
He's a really good coach.
A number of years ago.
I think he's a really good coach.
He did a great job in Brooklyn till the trio forced him out.
Yep.
And maybe he's not the right coach for superstar talent. I don't know. Kenny Atkinson, Long Island kid, is a great head coach, not a good head coach. And the Cavs got a gem there. So let me just acknowledge that. Matter of fact, as good a job as Mike Brown has done this postseason, because he's been brilliant, I think, this postseason, Kenny Atkinson overall, I think is a better coach than Mike Brown.
I agree.
So this shows you how objective I'm being when I handicap this series. Jared Allen is a marshmallow. always has been, always will be. He don't want none of that smoke.
Yeah, but he's playing against Cat. So it's not like
Cat's a man now.
No, he's not.
Cat's become a man.
Is a talented player, but let's not act like Cat's going to physically take advantage of a marshmallow.
He's a
problem. Marshmallow himself.
They have no depth under the goal.
Okay.
None. They're a wing team. They're a guard team.
Mm-hmm.
They're an outside shooting team.
Mm-hmm.
So again, this comes down to a foul trouble situation. If Mitchell Robinson, right, and Karl Anthony Towns stay out of foul trouble and stay on the court, I honestly do not think the Cavaliers have an answer for them in the low post. Obviously, Cat can also play outside. Mitchell Robinson cannot. But I just think size-wise, it's a problem.
Evan Mobley can, though.
Evan Mobley is a great defensive player, yes.
And
I love defensive player of the year last year.
And that's
right.
he's going to create problems at times.
I'll give you to show you the amount of work I put into this over the last couple of days. Once Cleveland beat Detroit in Game 7. Here's what's interesting to me. What's interesting to me is who do the Cavs use to guard Jalen Brunson? That's what's interesting to me. Because if you're going to tell me you're going to try to get one of your bigger guys out there that you'll waste fouls on just to try to hamper Jalen and guard him 94 feet, that'll be interesting to me.
Yes.
The flip side of that, and a part of the Knicks game that does not get a lot of attention from outsiders, is how good they are defensively. Josh Hart's a great defensive player.
He is.
All right, Mikal Bridges was great defensively against your Sixers and in games 4, 5, and 6 against Atlanta.
Yeah, what he did to Tyrese Maxey, he deserves a medal.
Button him up.
He completely took him out of the game.
Right. And then you have OG Anunoby, who obviously prior to hurting the hamstring was, I thought, the most consistent player the Knicks had. The Knicks have size and great defense that the Cavs don't have. Now, if you tell me that James Harden and Donovan Mitchell are both scoring 26 to 34 a night, yeah, they're going to be a problem.
And that can happen early to see. Harden, if it gets a 5, 6, especially a 6 and 7, Harden will disappear.
But
there is a chance
he was great in Game 6 against Detroit.
Right, and then he was bad in Game 7, but he only had the 1 turnover. But he is capable of getting you 40 in Game 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And if he does, they now get the steal. They steal the series.
So
steal home court.
I think tonight's all Knicks. The only thing that'll be interesting is first quarter tonight. Is there rust?
Yeah.
There's no rhythm to the Knicks right now. But outside of that, I think tonight's all Knicks. to the Craig Carton Show. Tyrone Johnson here as well. A couple things I want to get to. I didn't get to just yet. There was one big one I wanted to get to. Oh, yeah. At some point, I was just thinking football. Obviously, the schedules came out and all that jazz, right? Yeah. And I was thinking about Jim Harbaugh out there with the LA Chargers. And I was thinking to myself, made the playoffs first 2 years out there. Obviously, does not won a playoff game with Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert's the best quarterback without a playoff win, I think, right now in the NFL. But it dawned on me how we talk about Harbaugh. I love him. I wish he was a Jets head coach. I've said that for a million years. But did you realize that since Jim Harbaugh became the head coach in Michigan, okay, which ended obviously 2 years ago after winning the national title, that the University of Michigan has had 14 staffers either arrested, 6 of those guys, banned for cheating, 5 of them.
And that includes, by the way, the Ravens' new head coach is one of those guys that was from that staff mentor.
Okay, so 6 guys got arrested, 5 guys got banned for cheating, 2 guys got fined for sex crimes, including the last head coach, Sharon Moore, and 1 guy got forced to resign, and I'm not making this up, because he endorsed slavery. And I'm saying to myself, for all the crap I've said over the years about guys like Rick Pitino, about guys like
Calipari?
Yeah, John Calipari and his ilk. How come I've never said it about Jimmy Harbaugh?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, it's a good point. It's literally
they stole signs.
Yeah, absolutely.
They endorse slavery.
Yes.
They sleep with young staffers.
Yes.
They get arrested.
Constantly.
They multiple sex crimes.
He ran the dirtiest program maybe in the history of the NCAA.
And won a championship because of it.
Yep.
Right?
And on the low, pre-NIL, all those players played to their senior year, all of them, when they had first-round grades, some of them.
And now I'm saying to myself, he didn't leave Michigan because he won a championship.
No.
He left Michigan because he knew they were knocking at his door.
Oh, yeah.
Is that fair for me to say?
It's factually accurate.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like Pete Carroll at USC.
Yep.
Why did Pete Carroll leave USC to go to Seattle?
Yeah.
Because he knew they were knocking at his door, and he was going to have to vacate championships, much like Reggie Bush vacated a Heisman Trophy.
Right.
So he just got out of Dodge before the sheriff showed up.
And that's exactly what happened with Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Exactly what happened.
Like, let that sink in. Because I was thinking, the reason I thought of this is that another Georgia player got arrested. So it's like the 28...
For driving fast.
Yeah, not this one. This was something else. But yeah, there's another one of those too. So it's like, hey, under Kirby Smart, there's like 30 Georgia dudes who've been arrested, many of them for drag racing and driving, this and that, right? But Jim Harbaugh ran a dirty program.
Very dirty.
At Michigan.
Yeah, Michigan currently has a guy from Utah for that reason. Like, we need the guy who's going to be the cleanest, Mormonish, live the right way guy we can possibly get.
And maybe it's in the Michigan water because the first thing that guy did was hire his female assistant to run his football program.
She had left from USC. It was his former assistant who went to USC. And
she was a secretary. Now she's running football ops.
Went, and USC had the #1 recruiting class with her, and he went and grabbed the person who had the #1 recruiting class.
I'm just saying.
That's smart.
Things are dirty in Michigan. Filthy, filthy bastards.
It's all dirty like the Flint water? You're saying the whole state is just covered in Flint, Michigan water?
Yeah, don't let me investigate Michigan State. I'll find some dirt out of them, too. One other quick college football thing. Oregon State's got a new recruit. Before we give you our predictions on the Knicks-Cavs series, which is coming up in 10 seconds here, did you happen to see the guy's name?
No.
His name is Peter is Penis. There you go. Just signed right there. Peter is Penis.
I thought you were joking.
Not joking. That's that kid's name.
And he
Oregon
signed
State.
with the Oregon State Beavers.
I'm sorry, the who?
He signed with the Oregon State Beavers.
So the Beavers just signed a Penis?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Congratulations to the Oregon State Beavers.
It's a match made in heaven.
Peter is Penis is now a Beaver.
Yep. They've been going together forever.
Make that make sense.
Well, I don't know.
All right. Knicks Cavs starts tonight, Madison Square Garden. The games are every other day now.
Yep.
No 2 days off throughout this entire series.
Yep.
You can go first, Tyrone. Go ahead.
Yes. While the Knicks are a formidable opponent, I do think that this rest is going to hurt them early in the series. I have the Cavs in 6.
The Cavs winning it at home in Game 6. So
That's right.
You've got them winning Game 1.
Mm-hmm.
You've got them winning Game 3 and 4. You have them losing Game 5 at the Garden and then closing out a Game 6.
That's right.
One of us knows basketball here, folks, and it's the guy that back in September told you before the season started that the New York Knicks would be in the NBA Finals, and this is the exact path I wanted. Easiest path possible. The Sixers were a joke. The Cavs will be a joke.
They're better than the Pistons.
Knicks in 5, average margin of victory 16 for the New York Knicks, who are going to the NBA Finals. It all starts tonight. Hey there, it's your buddy Craig Carton. If you're trying to find out how to get all the great content that me and Tyrone Johnson give you every single day, here's Tyrone to tell you how.
You can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, and of course, Amazon Music as well. We're at all 4.
That's right. It's the Craig Carton Show podcast every weekday morning live at 11, replayed at noon on YouTube and on SportsGrid throughout the country. Check it out.
They're trading right now currently at 74 wins on the season, which means the Kalshi marketplace goes by 5-win intervals. 75-plus wins for those Houston Astros. That's a 49% contract to the yes, which a $100 investment pays back $205, Greg. I'm not high on this team. Look, again, 75 wins for the Astros is terrible, but this team might not even look the same as where we stand today by the time we get to that deadline.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
You can recruit super young talent that may go in the NBA. You can recruit older guys and have them grow up together. But if you want players to stay, either sign them to contracts or treat them well enough where they're going to stay. To me, it's pretty simple. And, you know, a lot of coaches last year had good years and they left skid marks on their schools and nobody said a word.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
Go over the summer where there's drastic changes and gas drops down to $3 a gallon, $2.50 a gallon in some states, and then you have some of the price markets go down. You ride that momentum is what Joe's talking about. So if you say right now, which party will win the U.S. House, and you think it's the Republicans currently trading at 20%, you take them now, and if good press comes, that turns into 25% and 30%, then you have the option to cash out.
Prediction Markets Edge, only on SportsGrid.